Hey guys, welcome to the Insights and Influencers podcast. We're your hosts, Sophie
and Elana.
And this podcast takes you through all things influencing. From brand deals to the insights on influencer marketing, we will have a special guest every episode to discuss it all with us. This week, we have our very own High Point University student, Jordyn. Hi, Jordyn.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, so Jordyn, we are so excited to have you on our podcast today and talk about your journey on being on social media. So do you want to just tell us about yourself and how you got started on social media?
Yeah, so I got started on social media like back in 2020 during COVID. It was a small page at first, just like a personal page, nothing big, nothing crazy. And then I had a cute little video blow up. It was me and my boyfriend. It was a little wholesome video of him opening a car door for me. And then from there, my whole page just kind of took off. So I just kind of felt like I needed to do something with that and take it and run with it. So that's where I am now, like, 3 years later, still working on it, rebranding though, because like long distance, so college life,
Right.
like more relatable. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
That's super cool. Would you say that your main platform is TikTok? That's where you started on?
Definitely TikTok. Yeah, I mean, I'm on Instagram, but it's not as big as TikTok because, TikTok is more video based and Instagram is definitely more pictures. So.
Yeah, TikTok, I feel like you have more free range to like do what you want, and it's easier to get like a niche on there, especially during COVID. The most random videos were blowing up on TikTok.
Definitely.
And like all these creators were able to get a start from it, which I think is really awesome.
So how many followers do you currently have on like your TikTok page and your Instagram page?
So on TikTok, I have 2.6 million followers.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, and then on Instagram, I currently am sitting at almost 18K.
Okay,
Good for
very
you.
cool.
Wow.
So you said you're really starting to rebrand yourself. So what kind of content are you currently focusing on doing?
So right now, since moving to college like this past semester or like in the fall, I decided that I want to be more like relatable in the college like aspect because, that's like my life now is college. So I decided I'd kind of change into like the like stuff that students would see or like other college students, like no matter what like grade level, like we could all relate on it in some way, shape, or form. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Also just the cute little like, random lip syncing videos, like,
Yeah.
just following the trends.
Have you noticed a difference from how your followers that originally were following you for your post with your boyfriend are reacting differently to now because you guys are long distance?
No, definitely. For sure. That's been a big part of like rebranding. Like you start to see the changes and the ups and downs of it. Like you'll start to lose some of the followers that you had before that were like your loyal followers, but then also gain this new following. So you can't be scared to see like the downside of things because you know that there's also an upside of things. Like social media is very up and down.
Yeah, that's true.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything on the more negative side since you've started to switch your content, or for the most part, do you feel like your comments and like followers are more of a positive?
I feel like because some of my stuff is like mental health related, it's more on the positive side of things. Like people like are like, oh wow, like I appreciated this, like I needed this. Like not too many negative comments other than the occasional like, where's your boyfriend? Can't really avoid it.
No.
But I mean, the views aren't like where they used to be, of course, because it's a whole different like field that I'm entering.
Right.
But you can't really let it get to you at this point because
No.
as long as you're consistent with like the rebranding, like you'll start to gain the traction you used to have.
Yeah.
Has social media like played a role in your relationship at all, you think?
I've had this question before, and honestly, like, I don't really think it's played a huge role. Like, yes, some days we'd be like, all right, what TikTok are we making? Like, he's so supportive, and he'd be like, all right, like, little inside, but all of our pranks and stuff are all, like, planned out. Like, I'm not pulling real pranks on him because some of them are, like, like not something you'd want to like have to actually pull on him because you'd feel bad.
Right.
So he's a great actor though. So, I mean, we had fun doing it. Honestly, it helped our relationship more other than like hurt it because it was an activity that we both got to do together.
Yeah, that is really fun. It's nice too that he is so great and supportive about it and wants to be a part of it because sometimes, you have someone who like doesn't necessarily want to be on social media at all, but it's always nice to like have him supporting you 100% and have your back with that.
Right.
What so far is your favorite part about being on social media? Like, when you first posted on TikTok, were you posting just for like fun, or was it something that you were like, oh, like I want to be a social media influencer type thing?
So when I started, it was all for fun. I didn't plan on being an influencer at all. Now it's like my major, so it's kind of taken over like a big part of my life.
Right.
But no, honestly, it was just for fun, like just posting the fun little, cute little videos. And now it's taken over this role in my life where I'm like, I have this like responsibility to like uphold and like live up to. So now like every day I've got to like plan new content, think of something that's gonna like maybe go viral. Like I get one every like 10 videos that will like just blow up for no reason, because that's just kind of how the algorithm works.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like it's played a huge part still to this day. Like every day, you know, I wake up, I'm like, what am I filming? What content can I come up with?
Yeah. Is it hard, like, as a freshman in college, like, trying to plan out your content schedule, but also focusing on school and meeting friends and, like, doing activities and stuff?
I thought it would be a lot harder than it is, just because you can use your everyday life to help you with content, if that makes sense. Like, if you're going out and doing something with your friends and your friends are all like, oh my gosh, can I help you make a video? It's so much better than just being like, hey guys, I'm going to film this. Let's act like we're having fun.
Right.
Like, everybody
So
smile.
awkward.
Like, it can be really awkward. So, like, I have some of the best friends I've made here that are also supportive too. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, here's an idea. I found this on TikTok. They send it to me and they're like, make this video. I'll be in
Yeah.
it with you.
That's so fun.
So honestly, it helps. And yes, some days like academics get like ahead of me, and so I'm like just homework all day and I'm not making content that day, but then the next day I can like, maybe it's not as like academic heavy, and then I have time to make whatever video or post whatever.
Right. That's awesome.
So we saw that you were a part of the High Point panel that helped with incoming students. How is getting to do that and getting to work with the school and doing social media?
I love it. I love getting to sit there and like not just talk about like my career as an influencer, to put in other words, but to like inspire these like young, like incoming, they're not too much younger than me, but these incoming freshmen, to inspire them to like, I could do this if I wanted to do it, because anybody could be an influencer. It really just, it's the luck of the draw, honestly, at this point.
Totally.
But if you're confident and you're consistent, like you will be able to do something with it. And I just love like being able to tell people that like that's a possibility for anybody. So the people that mostly come to this panel, I mean, they're either the social media classes where it's like you're required to be there, but like I think it's still fun for them to get out of class for that, or even just the incoming freshmen are like, whoa, like these people have how many followers? Like how did they get there? Like they just really want to know your story. I think it's really interesting for them to like hear like we're not stuck up. Like we are real people.
We're just ordinary students here at High Point that also have a big following on social media, but you're just like everyone else at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's really cool. How did the panel like work for you guys? Because I know I saw the Instagram video for it, but did you like, were you sitting down and the incoming freshmen were just asking you guys questions and you were giving advice and stuff?
So we had somebody come in and basically lead the questions. So we were all prepared. We had the questions in advance. There was no like off guard question. We didn't really have questions from the audience because we thought that could like be taken a direction we weren't ready for. So we had them come up to us afterwards for like a little like meet and greet if they wanted to meet with us. But no, we were all like prepared and knew what questions were going to be asked, especially to specific people. Like for me, a specific question was rebranding, because I'm one of like 2 people that's rebranding right now. So that was like a question that I was prepared for, and I was like, yes, like I planned this one out. I'm ready for this one. But honestly, overall, it was a great experience, and I'm really like thankful. And we have another one coming up.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't know you guys were doing another one.
April 14th.
We love that. That's so fun. I feel like it's really cool, too, that High Point gives you guys the opportunity to do things like this, because I haven't seen many other colleges, like, getting involved also with, like, students and being able to do that. So that's really cool and fun for you guys.
It also seems like it's going to help expand your platform, just because you are switching over to being more relatable with college kids. To get your name out is definitely, I can assume, helping you.
No, definitely. It for sure is, because after I got to meet with a couple people, and even like they had simple like questions like, hey, I heard you mention long distance, like how is that going for you, like how does that work, you know, and I was like, oh, like, I love offering advice on this because it's something I didn't know before getting into it, and now we're, like, 28 hours apart. I'm like,
Wow.
all right.
God.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's figure it out together. Like, we can make it work. But so those kind of questions, like, I don't know. They just bring me, like, back to, like, humanity, society. It's like they're not all looking at me just as, like, numbers and views. Like, they're looking at me like, hey, I heard you mention this, and that makes me feel like a real person. And, like, you know, so I appreciated the meet and greet part of the entire panel for sure.
That's awesome.
So going into the future, do you see yourself doing social media for a really long time, or is this something that you think you'll do throughout college and then afterwards kind of fall off? Where are you planning on going with your platform?
I honestly, I'm not sure. I could see myself like being like the mom on TikTok that like
I love those moms.
doesn't like exploit her kid, but also like posts about like, you know, like mom life. Like I could see myself doing that. Like, you know, just as I grow, like people could watch me grow through my page. I don't really plan on just like stopping ever unless like the whole TikTok getting banned thing. Like,
Right, which hopefully doesn't happen.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will
I think it's
either.
just all in the air, and I think I hopefully, fingers are crossed, it'll be okay.
Right. But honestly, I can see me just using it as like my little virtual diary like I do now and just continuing to use it that way.
That's awesome. Could someone get to the place you are on social media like you did? Like, where did you first get started? Like, I know you said you just posted like a small video, but like, when did you realize that like, okay, like, yeah, I am blowing up. Like, maybe I should like continue to do this?
So honestly, it happens like overnight kind of. Like you just notice this traction on your page that just keeps coming in. Like once you get your like platform and once you get that content on your page that people are liking, you just kind of have to keep going from there. Like stay on that same track, you know, whatever you posted that blew up, that's obviously what people want to see. So then you just have to keep going with that. Like it could be anything. Like there are car videos, there are like fishing videos, like it's whatever, like TikTok, like wide range of types of videos. So you just have to, like if somebody wanted to be in my shoes today, you just have to be consistent. Like you just have to be confident in what you post and very consistent with it, and then people will start to notice.
Right. I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people is they don't want to be consistent. But if it's something you really want to do and you love, then you definitely have to be like that.
It's also the part of just getting started. I feel like for myself included, like my profile's on like private, but like I'm like, oh, maybe one day I should put it public and so I can get more views and like get more followers. But I'm just like, okay, then like what would be my niche audience and like what can I post about? So I feel like that's definitely a hard part for many people is where they should get started.
Yeah, finding your niche is hard for sure. Like you've got to figure out like, what do I want to make my entire platform about? Like when people see me, they're like, that's that girl. Like for me, it was the girl with the boyfriend and the cute relationship.
Right.
And it's so funny, but now it's also like, that's also the girl that like, if I'm having a hard day, like she's got these mental health videos that like I can watch and they make me feel better. Like
Yeah, that's awesome.
what like I really want to do, because like mental health is obviously a big part of like every person's life, whether they talk about it or not. And personally, like I thought it was hard to talk about for so long. I'm like, it shouldn't be a hard topic. Like everybody struggles with it. So somebody needs to have the hard conversations. So that's kind of where I started with that.
Yeah, and I think it's great creators like you are able to get on a platform like TikTok, and especially with you have like over 2 million followers. So to like hear people talk about mental health in the way that you are, like I can't even imagine how many people you're probably helping right now, which is great. Yeah. And it's like you probably didn't see yourself being where you are right now during COVID, which is cool.
No, definitely not. I look back at the flashbacks on like Snapchat or whatever from like even 3 years ago today. Like I did not have this following or this platform because it was June of 2020. So now I'm like, whoa, like I did not think this would take off. Like I did not think I'd be here where I have so many people supporting me, just waiting to see what I post and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Do you think
a cool experience.
COVID played a part in how you blew up? Because I know during COVID, like we all would sit on our phones for hours on end. Do you think that definitely played a role in where you are now?
I definitely think so. Just because, I mean, there are so many, like, different, people online that, like, have the cute little relationship videos and are posting, like, I think things that are adorable, but they're not blowing up. But for me, it felt, like, so easy just because, like, so many people were inside on their phones and, like, I still remember the day that like the one video started blowing up because we were on our like way on my family vacation. My boyfriend's sitting in the back seat with me because he got to go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you see this right now? Like, I think when my friend sent to me and goes, you're famous, I was like, what? And it was one video and it blew up, and then from there I was like, maybe I need to do something with this, like not just use it to post little dancing videos, like use something with it. So of course it was the wholesome, like, you know, make people smile and realize like there's real love out there, but also like just me, like a little reminder, like mental health wise.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So do you work with any brands, or have you had any sponsorships since starting working with TikTok and Instagram?
I have had a couple like brand deals where people will reach out like via Instagram. They'll be like, hey, like it's mostly where they're small creators. I mean, they're still verified because they make music, but they're smaller where they're trying to get their name out. And so they're like, hey, like, can you use this audio on TikTok? And of course there's like a transaction happening between us where I'm like, yeah, like I'll do that. Like, and then they're like, okay, like how much is it to post on your platform? I'm like, oh, like at first I didn't know what to say.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, this has never happened before. So I had to like ask around to like, I had like a manager at one point who wasn't really like a manager other than somebody that I could look up to and ask them these questions. And they're like, maybe like with your following, like just like 100 or so, like not really like crazy and out there. But then the more followers you gain, the more they're like, okay, if people are wanting you to use their sounds, you have to like charge reasonably to post on their page. Yeah.
Do you see yourself in the future wanting to reach out to brands to like be able to work with them or anything like that?
Yeah, I could see myself definitely working with some brands. I've thought of like a couple before in the past, but I honestly couldn't think of them now because I had like this whole list of like, okay, I could reach out to them, reach out to them. Like, it'd be so fun. Because, I mean, I look up to my dad in this case because he is a little entrepreneur and he has a basketball tournament and he gets these brand deals and sponsorships from these really cool companies. I'm like, how do you do that? Like,
awesome.
Teach me your way.
Yeah, that's cool that you can ask him about that too.
So you're in the relationship, like mental health. Like, how's the TikTok community? Like, have you found like a group of people like from TikTok that you can really relate to, or like what other content creators can you relate to the most?
I like a couple people on TikTok that are like the couple relationships. Like, there is a couple that went to High Point and graduated from here.
The boy was from my hometown, fun fact.
They came last year actually to speak to one of my classes,
Yeah.
and I looked them up on TikTok, and like it's
They're
funny to see
huge.
how they grew their platform together.
Because their entire thing is like, he acts like this little like goofball around her and stuff, and is so cute and funny. And then like on their YouTube, apparently he's a whole different person.
Wow.
Where he's not like, you know, like for TikTok you gotta play a part, like you gotta like act, you've gotta play your role. But I think it's Taylor and Soph or something, or
Austin, I think his name.
Austin,
Yes.
yeah, Austin and yes. I was like, I'm combining two different people right now. But yes, I'm so bad with like the usernames and people's names and stuff, so like I won't get it right off the top of my head.
No, you're so fine.
But
I love watching relationship TikToks. They're my favorite TikToks. I'm like, oh, this makes me so happy.
Yeah, you're like, I wish that was me.
Right. I just found today some random page was like, this could be you, and then it flips over to me and my boyfriend just like cuddling. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
Like,
way.
that's me.
Have you seen a lot of posts about you and your boyfriends, like edits or anything like that?
Yes, mostly on Snapchat. There's this one video that like Snapchat, like, you know, like the highlights, like, or what is it, like the stories that you can click through. There's one like relationship story that loves to repost this random little video of me and my boyfriend. Yes, it's very cringy watching it back now. But like they love to repost it and make it as their like the picture, like the main picture.
Oh my God.
So I always see it pop up because I'm like, that's my face. Like that's
that's
me.
so
I'm
weird.
like, you're like scrolling and you're like, oh wait, that's me.
Literally.
So do you have any like words of advice for like our listeners?
Honestly, if you have a goal out there that you really like just want to achieve, whether it's social media wise, whether it's just in real life, something else, like just keep pushing, keep striving, like in consistency is key no matter what you're doing. So I'd say just as long as you are, like, I'm going to say it again, confident in yourself and you're consistent, you will get there no matter what that goal is.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
Okay, so thanks for coming on our podcast, Jordyn. We're so grateful that you came and spoke to us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So to all of our listeners, make sure to follow us on our Instagram and TikTok and Facebook at Insights and Influencers, where we post daily updates, and just stay tuned for our upcoming podcasts.
And then Jordyn, if you want to insert your TikTok, Instagram, whatever for our listeners.
Awesome. All right. My Instagram, Jordyn Horstman. My TikTok is Smiley Jordan Riley. Or just search Jordyn Horstman. That works too.
Well, make sure to go follow her and us. And thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.